Okay, welcome back. You're watching The Money Show on ET now. Here's another interesting proposal, or rather, should I say, a bill that has been passed by the Parliament now that it's in session, and that is the Chit Fund Bill of 2019. This essentially to streamline operations of this collective investment instrument. Now, firstly, what exactly is Chit Fund? Because a lot of us do have very negative connotations when it comes to Chit Fund. And how has Chit Fund changed through the last couple of years? Because for one thing, it's definitely become more tech savvy. To talk about this and more, I have with me Neeraj Bansal, co-founder and CEO of CredRight Private, that has been attributed in making chit funds a bit more technologically savvy. So, Neeraj, thank you so much for joining us in ET now, and I'm going to talk about how chit funds as an investment tool have developed over the last couple of years. But first up, I would like to talk to you about this Chit Funds Amendment Bill of 2019. It was passed by the Lok Sabha, I think, a couple of weeks ago, just requires the President's assent now. If you could just take us through the key highlights from an individual investor perspective, what is it in this new Chit Fund Bill that I should watch out for?
Sure. Thanks, Mubina, first of all, for having me here. Well, it's actually a big, arduous struggle to get this bill passed, and we are really thankful to the government to finally pass this bill. From an investor's perspective, there are many positives to look into this bill. The first one is earlier for each bidding, there have to be two investors or two subscribers which have to be necessarily in the premise while the chit auction is going on. In this day and age, a lot of people struggle to go to a chit fund office just for the bidding and auction. The government for the first time has allowed video conferencing. Now subscribers from their home can sit and watch the auction happening. This also brings in more transparency and accountability on the part of the chit fund. So that, I think, is a big, big positive. The second big positive step which government has taken is the demarcation between the registered chit funds and the unregulated deposit schemes or unregistered chit funds, which generally dupe the subscribers or the investors. Now, first time the government has allowed they have introduced the words like ROSCA or fraternity fund. What this will help is, this will help the subscribers clearly identify the good set of registered chit funds and will be able to securely put their money with the registered chit funds. Those two, I believe, are the strong key points for the investors. There are also some indirect benefits. So, for example, the government has also helped the foremen or the companies which are now running these chit funds in a big manner with this bill. They have increased the commission from 5 to 7%. Most of the chit funds were facing issues, of survivability, because the commission was way too low and the compliances burden have increased a lot over the last 20 years since when this has not been revised at all. So this is a big plus. The registered chit funds will survive, which will also mean that the investors will get better returns on their investment, and the duping will obviously reduce. So I think these are the major highlights for an investor in this chit fund bill.
All right. Okay, now, I want to talk about point 2, and that's making the distinction between a legal and registered chit fund, and that being different from, your unregulated deposits or what you mentioned, Ponzi schemes. You mentioned the registry, essentially, which will have, the entire list of perhaps all the legal and registered chit funds. So if I come across a chit fund, how can I, as an individual investor, ensure that, hey, this is legal and regulated and, registered, essentially? What should I do, to check if this particular chit fund that, someone has made a proposal for me to invest in is legitimate?
Sure. So there are 2 or 3 steps which you can do. Aside from the fact that, we have this big issue with the whole association that they're not doing enough financial literacy about the registered chit funds, and this is the first time when Mr. Anurag Thakur, the Honorable Minister himself, said that this has to become a mass movement and we have to actually include chit funds in the financial literacy program. But anyways, as of today, what the subscribers can do, number 1, it is mandatory and by law that any registered chit fund has to use the word either chitty, chit, kudi, and now fraternity fund or ROSCA in their company name. So please ensure that you do see these words in the company name, and that will tell you whether the company is actually a registered chit fund or not. Second, you can go to the website of each state where you can just type chit fund on a particular state name, for example Telangana, and you will be able to get a list of all the chit funds which are registered with the registrar, and not only the name of the chit funds, you can also see all the chit fund groups. Each chit fund company might be running multiple groups. You can see each of those registered groups also in that. This will give you enough confidence that the group actually exists and you are being part of it. The third step obviously is when you are actually reaching out to a particular chit fund, please make sure each of them do get a certificate of registration from the registrar of chits whenever they are commencing the company or even a group. And please ensure that you do see that certificate before putting your hard-earned money in that particular chit fund.
Okay, I just want to understand about the accessibility of a chit fund as well. I mean, from a monetary perspective, does there have to be a certain net worth? Just to understand who out there from all our viewers would be eligible to participate in a chit fund, just to get that sorted first.
Sure. No, so the beauty of the chit product is that there is no lower limit. Yes, there is an upper limit. And this upper limit is forced by the government to actually safeguard the interest of the chit subscribers. So from a lower limit, there's nothing. There's as small as 100 or 200 rupee chit also. So you can subscribe to those chits. On the higher side, the maximum right now is a 1 crore chit fund, which can only be operated by companies. If an individual is running a chit, now the limit has been increased from 1 lakhs to 3 lakh rupees. The 3 lakh rupees will be over a tenure of 20 or 30 months as the foreman decides the group. And similarly, for a firm or a partnership, it has been increased to 18 lakhs. So for a subscriber, they can start as small as just putting 200 rupees every month into the chit, and they can go as high as let's say putting a 2 to 3 lakh rupees a month into the chit.
Okay. Now, Neeraj, of course, your fintech company, CredRight, very interesting. It's providing credit check services. It's also arranging loans for chit fund subscribers by analyzing data of subscribers of chit fund companies. So before I talk a bit more on what you do and how viewers can access that, I want to understand how has technology perhaps also aided in getting chit funds to becoming more transparent?
Sure, and we have come across a far journey from where we were, let's say even 2 or 3 years back in terms of technology, but we believe a lot still can be done. And one of our biggest complaint with this act is that it hasn't put enough stress on digitalization of chit funds. But I'll still give you the points or journey we have done on the tech side. So for example, the chits, now if you see larger chits like Kerala State Financial Enterprise or Margdarshi, and even companies like Balusari benefit chit funds, they have all come with their apps, right? So in their app, you can see the list of all the chit funds, the groups they are running. You can even join those with the help of the app. The problem is the law will still ask you to do physical paperwork and you still have to go to the office to do it. But at least the availability and transparency increases through the app. The other ancillary benefits which have come up because of technology in the chit funds is there's a beautiful example in Hyderabad where a company called Chitmonks have started T-Chits, where the government is actually moving the entire compliance and monitoring of chit funds by the registrar of chits on blockchain, which basically means that each and every group will be registered on blockchain, and it will be very, very transparent for the subscribers to access this data. The third major portion of technology which has impacted chit fund is there are companies like us now, CredRight, which is actually mining the historical repayment data of the subscribers, which then helps us build a great credit profile, and the customers now using that credit profile can go to the market and avail loans, which was nearly impossible just 2 years back. So technology has helped in every way: accessibility, the availability of chit funds, as well as utilizing your chit funds to get more loans outside from the market.
Could you explain a bit about how that works when you mentioned that getting loans, from the chit fund market? If you could just explain a bit more on that.
Sure, sure. That's our passion. That's what CredRight is for. What we did was we see a big issue for chit fund subscribers. When they are participating in chits, and chit is a great product, but there are also some of the design issues of chit as a product. Because you have to bid, it may not your bid or auction may not necessarily come through in the month you want, so you'll have to wait for the next month. Plus, there's some delay, at least 30 days for the chit fund company to pay you the money. Once you have won the auction. And second, there might be even more need of loan apart from the chit funds you are participating in. So as CredRight, what we saw was there is huge amount of data lying with each chit fund on their subscribers for their historical payments. For example, most of the subscribers would be working with one chit fund for decades. There are examples where 3 generations of family have participated with one particular chit fund company. And all their repayment is stored digitally on the ERP system by the chit funds, right? And that data is just like your bureau or CIBIL data, but lying with one individual company and not being used. So as CredRight, what we do is we partner with chit funds as well as we directly reach out to the ecosystem of the chit funds to get that data with the user consent, obviously. And based on that data, using our machine learning algorithms, we are able to mine the data. We are able to build a lot of behavioral pattern, a lot of credit profiles of the customer and figure out whether they're credit worthy or not. This data and this mining is significantly richer than any credit bureau data which the same subscriber would have on the formal systems. So once they come to us and let's say, for example, they don't have any CIBIL presence also because they've not taken any formal loan, just on the basis of their chit data, we'll be able to build their credit profile and we'll be able to take it to our lending partners and help them get a loan from the market.
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. In fact, I think it's quite a novel concept as well. On that note, Neeraj, thank you so much for joining us and explaining to our viewers all that's new in the chit fund market. Unfortunately, due to several scams like Sardha and Rose Valley, it's been mired in controversy, this entire product. But yes, now with this new bill that's been passed, the hope is that there'll be a clear distinction between legal and registered chit funds away from Ponzi schemes and unregulated deposits. Thank you, Neeraj, once again. Well, here's some good news for all car enthusiasts because all major car companies are doling out big discounts on their brands. This before they hike prices from January. Remember, Maruti is going to hike its prices. Tata Motors as well is expected to hike its price. So, Utkarsh Chaturvedi joins us now with more. Utkarsh, what are the cars on sale?
Well, on one hand, car companies are preparing to hike prices from January, as you said. On the other, they are offering what could be the highest discounts ever in the month of December. Now, let's start with India's largest UV maker, M&M. Their newly launched MPV, Marazzo, is being offered with benefits of over 1,70,000 rupees. Now, this is a vehicle which got launched only last year itself, and then too, we are seeing this kind of a discount. And the discounts on the other vehicles, when you speak about whether it be the KUV and the TUV, the discounts are also very heavy. The discounts there are 73,500 and 58,000. Now, let's move to the largest car maker. Speaking of India's largest car maker, they also have introduced mouth-watering deals for the UVs and other vehicles. The Vitara Brezza is available at a discount of 87,500, a model that saw a long waiting time until last year. Fast-selling models like Desire and Swift are also being discounted between 70 to 80,000 rupees. Now, the steepest discounts are available at Tata Motors. The MUV Hexa has a discount of a whopping 1,65,000. The Tigor, which is a sub 5 lakh car, is available at a 1 lakh discount. That means a 20% markdown. And the small UV Nexon is also available at a discount of 82,500. Finally, let's talk about Hyundai. Hyundai is generally known to offer heavy discounts, but not in its newly launched models. They are now offering a 2 lakh discount in the Tucson, 80,000 on the Creta and 95,000 for the Accent. So to put this into perspective, while car makers routinely offer discounts every December, experts tell me that these are the deepest December discounts ever, and most importantly, these are available across models, including the newly launched ones like the Creta and the Brezza as well.
Well, I suppose it's the golden chance for all our viewers out there who want to buy a car but are waiting for the so-called right time. Well, what are you waiting for? Deepest discounts, as per Utkarsh, in December in a very, very long time. Quick break on the show. When we return, we will be kickstarting our Meet Your Fund Manager. And today, we will be talking to Sailesh Rajbhan of Nippon India. Don't go anywhere.